$800 one-time check for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, and Medicare beneficiaries. Some new announcements out of the administration and what it means for you. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I do want to talk about some new announcements out of the administration and what they want to do as far as bringing back some of the provisions out of the Build Back Better agenda way back from late 2021. Within there were also checks and money for the low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries, including this one-time check for millions of beneficiaries. Therefore, I want to talk through all the details and what this could mean for you this year in 2023. So let's get into it and discuss all those details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so. And because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, anything showing up right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low income or fixed income beneficiary. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about a one-time check for millions upon millions of beneficiaries. In fact, about 63 million fixed income beneficiaries is who this would encompass, and what they're now saying, as I said, the administration is talking about bringing back some of the provisions out of the Build Back Better agenda. Now remember, that was a long time ago. In fact, it was in basically the second half, or pretty much the entire year of 2021, starting in about April of 2021, all the way through the end of the year, when ultimately it abruptly stopped right at the end of the year of 2021. The Build Back Better agenda, a couple $1 trillion worth of spending within that bill, and ultimately they couldn't get it done. But there were a lot of different things within that bill, including a one-time $800 check for about 63 million fixed income beneficiaries that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And I want to bring you those details here in this one because they're not talking about bringing all this back. So I want to bring this out for you in this video and let you know what it actually means for you and how you could possibly get this $800. All right, so here's what it comes down to. There was a lot of talk about this. In fact, now that the new Congress is in place, there actually has been a little bit of talk about this as well. And again, that's what we need to focus on because this is what it contains, the $800. All right, so let me talk you through the provisions in the Build Back Better agenda from a couple years ago, back in late 2021. And then let me tell you what this actually means here in 2023 as well. All right, so in 2021, the Build Back Better agenda had expansion to Medicare. Do you remember this? What they wanted to do, and remember, Bernie Sanders was a huge advocate for this. In fact, he still is. He's a huge advocate for this, and he wants to get this done, which is basically expanding Medicare to include hearing, dental, and vision coverage, right? Well, as we talk through all the details about that, basically what they were doing is as they were talking through the details of expanding Medicare to include these coverages and these services, they basically said, okay, we'll add hearing, no problem at all. Then seniors and basically those individuals that are included in those, Medicare beneficiaries, can get hearing aids, things like this. Great stuff. Well, then Bernie Sanders was also mentioning, what about glasses, right? Glasses are very important. And glasses, or what I should say is vision coverage, was kind of on the fence. They were kind of saying, well, yeah, we could add it. It's kind of expensive, but yeah, we could probably add vision into it. But then when it comes down to dental, right? They were talking about dental and they thought, dental is just way too expensive. We can't put dental into this. It's going to bust up the whole program. Dental is very expensive, as we all know. And they basically threw dental out and said, no, we're not going to add dental into the program. Way too expensive. We can't add dental coverages in. However, as a concession for removing dental coverage out of Medicare expansion, we will give the 63 million Medicare beneficiaries a one-time $800 prepaid card that they can go out and use it on dental coverage. Now, again, we've talked about this before, and we know that $800 would get you, well, not much, right? Dental, $800 when it comes down to the dental is going to get you a little bit, but not much at all, right? So that was the concession with this, is giving all the 63 million Medicare beneficiaries a one-time $800 prepaid card that we're supposed to use on dental coverages, right? Well, a lot of us here in the community, as I've talked about this a little bit over the last, year and a half or whatever, since this whole thing ended back in late 2021, is that yes, $800 for dental would be great, but why can't we just have $800 to spend on what we want, like, I don't know, food or maybe things like that, right? But again, well, we can talk about this more later once we get more details on this, but at the end of the day, how do they really know that we spent it on dental? Again, just saying, not saying that we should do that, but I'm just saying, how do they really know that we bought groceries with it rather than paid for a tooth cleaning? You know what I mean? Just saying, right? I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying, how do they really know? But they know everything, right? Let's be real for a second. So anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but here's what it comes down to. Now that the administration is talking about bringing back some of the provisions out of the Build Back Better agenda, well, remember, one of the provisions was this Medicare expansion and to add hearing, dental, and vision coverage back into Medicare, right? Now, this is a huge thing. Now that the new Congress is in place, again, this is something that I've heard a little bit of talk about. Number one, expanding Medicare to include hearing, dental, and vision coverage. And number two, Medicare for all. Okay, well, which one is it going to be? Here's the thing. If they expanded Medicare to include hearing, dental, and vision first, and then they could send out this one-time $800 prepaid card, and then they could start talking about Medicare for all. Now, here's the thing. We need to pay attention to this one very closely as well, because if they start talking about Medicare for all first before they actually were to expand Medicare out to hearing, dental, and vision, I would say this much. If it comes down to expanding Medicare for all first, I would say all bets would be off when it comes down to the $800 for this one-time prepaid card. However, if they start talking about expanding Medicare out to include these services, hearing, dental, and vision, then I would say that $800 could possibly be back on the table in a pretty big way before they start playing around with Medicare for all. Now, I'm going to say this much as well. They've talked about Medicare for all a lot over the last couple of years here, and it hasn't really gotten a whole lot of traction. In fact, I don't remember the numbers exactly at this moment because it's been a little while since I've seen the reports on this, but I think the estimates were somewhere around the lines of I don't know, some crazy number, like $30 trillion or something. $32 trillion is what Medicare for all would cost. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. 30-some trillion dollars. Oh, by the way, that was over the course of 10 years. So that's a lot of money, right? So it would average out to something like $3.2 trillion per year, and $32 trillion over the course of 10 years. It's a lot of money for Medicare for all, right? But remember as well, essentially everybody would be paying into it, right? So it's kind of the difference between just the beneficiaries and those people relying on Medicare who are paying in versus, everybody. There's a huge difference. So anyway, we can talk about all those details more when I get more information on that at some point, but Medicare for all has been a hot button issue for a lot of years now, and we've heard about it over the last couple of years here, but I would say this much. The traction on that one and the likelihood of Medicare for all actually happening anytime soon, realistically, probably isn't going to happen. Not anytime soon anyway. Maybe in the next 5-10 years, maybe we could see something like that, but within the next year or two, no way. Not happening. Not in the next couple of years anyway. So when it comes down to Medicare for all, again, yeah, they can talk about it all they want, but there's just no way it's going to happen within the next, anytime soon. Within the next handful of years, not happening. I highly, highly doubt it. But that's just my opinion on that one. But Medicare expansion, I could foresee this one happening. Again, there's going to be a lot of kicking and screaming. There's going to be a lot of, crying and pouting. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, debates and arguing and all kinds of different things like that with Congress. But ultimately, this is something that realistically probably should have been done a long, long time ago. Let's be real. Does Medicare really need to cover all of these expenses when it comes down to hearing, dental, and vision? Well, let me ask you, as a Medicare beneficiary, where do the vast majority of your expenses come from? Probably those things, right? I mean, how much do glasses cost? Yes, I know that you can get cheaper glasses, but glasses generally are very expensive. How about hearing aids? Thousands of dollars. How about dental? Well, not even sure where to start there, right? That can be very, very expensive in and of itself, right? So when it comes down to when it comes down to Medicare expansion, this is definitely something that is still on the table. But if they do come down to it and they do want to expand Medicare, then just remember, maybe they do hearing and vision, and maybe they completely leave dental out. If that's the case, we already know the concession for leaving dental out, and that is a one-time $800 card, right? So anyway, I want to bring this to your attention because the administration has been talking about bringing back some of those provisions out of the Build Back Better agenda, and realistically, it looks kind of good. And remember, this is some of them that's out there. The Build Back Better agenda had some pretty good stuff in it. Not a ton, but there was some things in there. Within the nearly $2 trillion of spending, there was a couple good things in there. Not all of it, but there were certainly some good things for the low income and fixed income. Well, this is what it comes down to. Of course, I will continue watching everything closely with this new Congress, and as I do get more details on anything they're talking about right now, when it comes down to Medicare expansion or this $800 prepaid card, the $800 check, how are they determined to do that, or anything else coming out, of course, I'll bring that to your attention right away in these short videos. I'm here for you, and I truly want to help you out in any way that I can by keeping you updated and, of course, explaining all this stuff in greater detail so we can all get a better understanding of what is actually happening, and most importantly, what's out there for us. What can we possibly grab and or take advantage of as low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries? Either way, I'll do all that research, and I'll bring it to you here in these videos. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands upon thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, have a good one, and I hope this one helps you out a little bit further. Have a good day, and yeah, I'll catch you again later. Leave your comments, questions, and feedback down below, and again, I'll do my best to answer those or make a dedicated video where I see fit. All right, enjoy.